Hello and welcome to the Tottenham America channel. Today I will be rating every player's performance from Tottenham Hotspur's 3-4 loss to Liverpool at Anfield as Richarlison scored a late equalizer for Spurs in the 90+3rd minute. But Spurs just had to throw it all away with a defensive mistake from Moura a minute later, and Diogo Jota ran onto the loose ball to score for Liverpool, claiming all 3 points and snatching it away from Tottenham. We'll start with goalkeeper Fraser Forster, of course, standing in place for Hugo Lloris. I'm going to give him a 5. I think he could have done better for the first goal. Curtis Jones's goal, I think his foot if a little bit quicker reaction, I think he could have stopped that. Alisson stopped a very comparable shot at the other end, but he couldn't do anything about the next one. He was really hung out to dry by his defenders. Then the last one was the Salah goal was a penalty. His distribution was very, very good today. I think, honestly, almost on par with Alisson in some parts. He's so much better than Lloris in that department. And for that reason, I'm going to give Forster a 5. We'll move on to the defense now. Cristian Romero, I'm giving him a 5. Quite possibly one of the worst opening 15 minutes I've ever seen a defender have. His giving away the penalty was an absolutely boneheaded challenge. And for the first goal, it wasn't really his fault, but him and Porro are marking the same man instead of spreading out, leaving Curtis Jones open at the back post. But he really redeemed himself. He hit the woodwork once, about a minute after Son hit it in like the 57th minute. Harry Kane swung up a beautiful cross. Romero gets a stud on the ball. It just slowly bounces towards the left post and doesn't go into the goal. And then he provides an excellent ball for Heung-min Son's goal in the 77th minute to make it 3-2. An excellent ball over the top by the Argentine defender. Our next center back is Eric Dier. I'm giving him a 3. He had the worst 15 minutes of his life, and then he just continued to make it worse. He didn't really earn it back the way Romero did. Way too slow for the Luis Diaz goal, and he lost his man for the Salah, for the incident leading up to the penalty, which meant Romero was kind of strangling, and then basically just had to stick a leg out because that's what Romero does. And in the end, that was the way that Salah got that penalty in the 15th minute. Dier really never redeemed himself. He was probably our worst outfield player who started today. And then at our left center back position, we had Ben Davies, who came into the side for Clement Longley. I'm going to give Davies a 5. Didn't really make any big mistakes for any of the 3 goals at the start of the game, and remained relatively consistent throughout the whole game. I thought he was quite okay. I think if we can somehow get a Longley in the middle, Davies on the left, Romero on the right, center back 3, I think that's what'll work for us the best, because Dier just isn't working right now, and he is costing us way too many goals. Moving into the midfield position, I'm going to start with right wing back Pedro Porro. I thought his starting first half was absolutely shambolic. The first goal was completely his fault. I have no idea why he's trying to mark the same man as Romero, who's basically already gone. The ball just floats over those two, right into Curtis Jones's feet, and Porro should be back there clearing the ball, but instead he is with Romero on, I think it was Gakpo, and Jones just has to tap it into the back of the net. But as we went into the second half, Porro changed his game completely, did much better, and constantly, every time we went forward, he's a huge threat. And he was really a big part of us going forward in the second half. But then he was ridiculously taken off in the 90th minute, right before the Richarlison winner, for no apparent reason. I still don't understand why Porro was taken off with like 3 minutes to go. He still looked like he was fine on energy, but he's taken off, and he's taken off for Lucas Moura, a guy who was literally leaving at the end of the game, end of the season, and he really doesn't care for the club much because he's leaving. He hasn't played at all this season. So I just don't get why we brought on Lucas Moura for Pedro Porro. It could have been anyone else, I think. but not. I don't think we even needed to make a sub there. Moving into midfield, we will go to Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. I'm going to give him a 5. Very average performance from Højbjerg. Nothing special, nothing crazy. I believe he had one chance on goal, but he was pushed in the back a little bit by Alexander-Arnold. Nothing to give a penalty, but just a little nudge that had enough for Højbjerg to misplace his header. I just don't think he's doing enough work. I think right now maybe we overworked him at the start of the season, so now he's just burnt out, and we have no one to replace him with because we can't really trust any of the other midfielders. Sarr's getting there eventually, and Bissouma's not even in the squad. So I don't know. Højbjerg was very average today. Nothing special. Skipp was like a war fighter though today. I'm going to give him a 5.5. He was everywhere, front and back of the pitch. He was all over the place, getting stuck in everywhere. I thought it was a very industrious performance from Oliver Skipp, and exactly what we needed in midfield. Honestly, we needed more of that in the first half, but he really showed it in the second half. And I think Højbjerg could take a couple notes off of that. He did eventually go off in the 84th minute because Diogo Jota basically kicked him in the head. Should have been a red card. We saw a long time ago, probably 2019, we saw Thomas Müller go off for basically the same incident where he flew into Nicolas Tagliafico's head in the Champions League, I believe. This was really no different. It was a boot into the head. Oliver Skipp was bleeding and had to go off, I believe, as per concussion substitute rules. And Diogo Jota was somehow allowed to stay on the pitch, and he ended up scoring the winning goal. So, bit of a sour one to take there for Spurs fans. And our left wing back was Ivan Perisic. He had a very good game, in my opinion. I thought he was quite solid. I am going to give him a 6.25. First half, of course, no one was good, really. But as we got into the second half, I thought he changed his game a lot. The assist for Harry Kane's goal was absolutely incredible. The way he just floored Van Dijk was really, really nice to see. Very, very nice control of the ball. And then as we went to the second half, he was very, very integral on that left side. He was constantly working with Son on that left side to try and get the ball forward. Before being subbed off in the 90th minute for Danjuma, which was a fine sub. I don't think I saw anything wrong there. We'll move up to the front three, starting with Dejan Kulusevski. I'm going to give him a 4.5. A 5, not 4.5. I'm going to give him a 5. I thought he was very, very average today. Nothing special. One chance on goal, which was saved by the outstretched foot of Alisson today. But other than that, really, I didn't see much of Kulusevski. And then he was taken off in the 66th minute for Pape Matar Sarr. So, not much from Kulusevski today to take of note. Our striker, Harry Kane, though, did score a goal. I'm going to give Harry Kane a 6.75. Took his goal excellently off of the volley from the Perisic cross. Very lively. That was really probably his only big chance. I think that was the only shot he had on goal. Didn't take any other shots, but very, very important in the middle of the park, getting the ball up. A couple of excellent passes out towards the wingbacks, Perisic and Pedro Porro. And I thought Harry Kane was pretty good today. But I think definitely the best player on the pitch from Tottenham's side was Heung-min Son. I'm going to give him a 7.5. I thought he was absolutely unbelievable today. It's a game from him that we haven't seen in a long time. Excellent assist in the 90-plus third minute for Richarlison's header. And he got a goal of his own off of a Cristian Romero ball over the top. And Son was lively the whole game. This is a Son that we haven't seen since last season. This is the one that we saw against Norwich at the end of last season. He was lively. He was moving. I think Ryan Mason is the guy who was able to unlock Son Heung-min this season. He's been really shackled up by Conte to play as almost a defensive midfielder. But now Ryan Mason has him playing as his actual position, which is a winger who runs off the last shoulder of the defense. And that's exactly where he needs to be because that is where he works best. Our substitutes, Pape Matar Sarr, I'm just going to quickly give him a 6. I thought he was moving the ball around well in midfield. No big mistakes. But I think he helped us gain control of the midfield a little bit by taking off a winger and putting on a midfielder. Definitely helped us a little bit. And really, I think it might have shifted the balance of the game. Our other substitute was Richarlison with the excellent header in the 90 plus third minute. I'm going to give him a 7. I thought he had a very good cameo out. Very lively, running all over the place, linking up with everyone, and just trying to get the ball constantly forward. And then you look at the other side of the spectrum for our next substitute, Lucas Moura. I gave him a -1 because I think that's what he deserves. Came on for a minute. I believe it was before the Richarlison goal, which it was. So it was before the Richarlison goal. Pedro Porro is subbed off, and Lucas Moura comes on. Richarlison scores, and then we celebrate for a little bit, and the long ball comes from Son over the top of the team. Lucas Moura just has to clear it, boot it out of the field, boot it into touch, anywhere, but he decides to let it touch down onto the floor. Tries to get it to Romero, but completely misjudges it, and instead the ball goes straight into Diogo Jota's path, and Dier and Romero are completely taken out of the equation, so it's just a one-on-one really with Forster, and Jota just has to place it into the far post, which is what he does, and Tottenham lose the match. Absolutely, just so close. But I think Liverpool is really just the cursed fixture for Tottenham, because the amount of chances we miss today, the amount of chances we miss usually, the amount of unlucky things that happen, I mean, this could be the peak of it all, because we went through 3 goals conceded in the first 15 minutes. Then we had a 3-goal comeback. We hit the post 3 times. We had a red card waved away on Skipp for Jota. And then we have a 90 plus third equalizer, and then a 90 plus fourth minute winner off the back of a personal individual mistake. That is the most Tottenham Hotspur game you could get ever, and it's the most Tottenham Hotspur versus Liverpool game you could ever get. But it was I think we're starting to see Ryan Mason's effects on the squad, and I think it will come good eventually, but you're going to get these bad results. I think the biggest criminal part here is letting Lucas Moura onto the pitch. I think that's inexcusable. I don't know how that happened. But that's it for our ratings of players of Tottenham's 4-3 loss to Liverpool at Anfield in the Premier League. If you enjoyed and want to see more Spurs content, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below what you thought of the game. And until next time, come on you Spurs!